A Goofy movie is one of my favorite Disney movies. No joke, I consider this movie one of the Disney greats. Spun off from an already good Disney afternoon show, it is more than just a delightful 90s time capsule. It's a funny, sweet, thoughtful father-son drama with a well-told moral, coming out during a time when Disney was still mainly pumping out princess musicals, which clearly doesn't happen at all anymore, that knows exactly when to use Goofy's trademark comedy and when to treat him as a character first and a slapstick dispenser second. All in all, I think it's a genuinely wonderful movie. So of course, just like everything else Disney in the early 2000s, it got itself a direct-to-video sequel, cleverly titled An Extremely Goofy Movie. Now, Disney direct-to-video sequels don't exactly have a spotless track record, to put it mildly, but with a timeless character like Goofy and likable kids like Max and PJ, surely they can't go all wrong, right? Well, we'll just have to watch it to find out. The movie begins a couple of years after a Goofy movie, as Goofy and Pete are celebrating sending their sons off to college. Oh, and Bobby too for some reason. The boys meanwhile have only one goal in mind: winning the College X Games. Because, you know, the guy who eats spray cheese out of the can and PJ, who is almost as large as he is friendly, are suddenly extreme athletes now. Goofy, on the other hand, is a bit more academically focused.
That there X Games fiddle-faddle may be all well and fun, but remember, you're going off to college to make something of yourselves.
Exactly.
You'll get a degree, and the world will be your clam.
Oh, Pud, there are no jobs out there. You know that, right?
The barbecue goes off without a hitch, and later on, Goofy tries to help Max pack for his big day. And to say that he's already starting to miss his son is an understatement.
It's gonna be a long time before you see your old man again. What? Maybe Christmas?
Yeah, and by then he'll have gained so much weight that he fills out an entire third dimension.
Make me look good.
Sorry kid, nothing can make that CGI look good. The next morning, Max is so eager to get to college, and more importantly, away from his dad, that he practically storms out of the door the instant he wakes up.
Ooh, gotta go.
But Max! Going already?
Yeah, I gotta get there early for freshman orientation, Dad. See ya.
What the hell, Max? Fuck orientation! Do you see those flapjacks? That shit looks divine! I mean, if he's not having it, I'll take it, Goofy. I normally survive on toast. This is like a goddamn banquet for me. No, but seriously, as exciting as college and being away from your parents for the first time obviously is, could you maybe sit your ass down and just enjoy breakfast with your dad? Is that 1.5 hour it's gonna take really too much to ask? Anyway, Max can't get out of the house fast enough, and soon Goofy finds himself all alone. Oh, jeez. I obviously can't claim to have sent a kid off to college, but this scene leaves me absolutely no doubt that that's exactly what it's gonna feel like. Max and friends, however, are quick to explore campus on their skateboards. Yeah, hi, I'd like a ticket for the Goofy-nator, please, and, can I have one for Pulp Fiction too? Oh, come on! I mean, it was either that or come with me if you want a goof. Like, they can't all be gold, people. Naturally, since college has absolutely nothing to do with education, Max and friends quickly find their new hangout at, of all things, a beatnik coffee bar, where we are introduced to the nameless character only known to fans as Beret Girl.
Quiet. Speechless like a mime. Bold and noisy like a crime. Don't you dare waste my time, cause life can stop on a dime.
Man, for a movie that tries so hard to remind you that it's the 2000s now, that sure was pretty 1950s. Max's skateboarding skills gets the attention of the reigning College X Games champion fraternity's leader, the hilariously overblown jerk Bradley Uppercrust III. He soon invites Max to join their team, but without Bobby and PJ, which Max naturally refuses. This, of course, results in a round of good old-fashioned bullying, but Beret Girl is having none of that shit.
Oh, you slay me, Tiger. You are the fly in my soup. You are the eyelash in my eye. You are so busy blowing out bad vibes in every direction that we are all choking on your secondhand smoke.
So, yeah, beatnik finger snapping is apparently a huge red button for Bradley, who leaves the coffee bar threatening Max to flatten him at the competition. I get that this is supposed to be a symbolic "you are not welcome here" thing and all, but let me tell you something. If I started going all West Side Story on the people who used to beat me up, I wouldn't have these fingers anymore. While all this is going on, Goofy, still hit with a serious case of empty nest syndrome, goes to work in a nightmarish looking toy factory? Wait, wasn't he perfectly happy as a mall photographer in the last movie? I mean, I get it, it's been a few years and things obviously change. The company could have just gone out of business, or Goofy could have caused one of his classic Goofy-style mishaps. But this is a pretty good time to bring up a general problem with Goof Troop. I love this franchise, I really do, but my god, they're bad at addressing these weird abrupt changes between installments. It's bad enough that Peg and Pistol weren't as much as mentioned in a Goofy movie. You can kind of explain that away as the movie's focus being on father-son vacations. But are you honestly telling me that we're in some weird narrative where Peg, almost the only person in the family to ever stick up for PJ, not only at some point left Pete, which I can kind of see happening, but somehow leaves the man she knows is an emotionally abusive asshole with sole custody of PJ, and then doesn't as much as call him or send a fucking card when he leaves for college? Also, Peg is generally just awesome, and I want her back, dammit! Hey, I said I wanted her back, not her backside. Okay, I kinda want that too. Or are we supposed to assume that Peg and Pistol are just dead or something? Goofy's already most likely a widower in this franchise, so shit is getting way too real for a goddamn Goofy movie. And with that, we've finally gotten to the elephant in the room. Where's Roxanne? Again, I get that it's been a few years. They might have simply outgrown each other or something. And let's be honest, as undeniably adorable as she is, she didn't exactly have a lot of character. But she was the center of like at least half of the entire conflict in the first movie. Wouldn't a sequel have been the perfect opportunity to flesh her out at least a little? But nope! They don't even as much as say her name even once in the whole goddamn movie. We're just left here scratching our heads and our asses in confusion. I'll take almost any throwaway line, just tell us what happened! So unless each installment takes place in its own little weird alternate reality, someone's got a lot of explaining to do. Anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, Goofy's ridiculously depressing job that certainly doesn't help his current mood. I mean, I know toy factories aren't exactly Willy Wonka wonderlands in real life either, but whoever owns this place really needs to close his eyes, take a breath, and count to 3. Work for me, and you'll be in a state of horrible depression. Anyway, in his depressed state, Goofy causes a disaster that blows up the factory and, actually pretty understandably, gets his ass fired. And as his career advisor tells him, getting a decent job without a college degree is gonna be pretty challenging.
The only way to build your career is to go back to college.
College? Me? I was there in the 70s. I'm too old for that now.
Come on, Zool. You're never too old to learn a new trick.
In fact, I can teach you some right now. This one is called Hide the Sausage, and after that I'm thinking we'll move on to the salad toss.
Gosh.
So Goofy gets the bright idea to cure his empty nest syndrome by applying to, where else, the same college Max goes to. And boy howdy does he make an entrance.
Yep. Hi, everybody! I'm just a yearning for some learning. Hey, Maxie! Looks like you and me are gonna be classmates. Yep, he's my son.
When the Afro man walked through the white land, houses went up for sale.
After the initial embarrassment and mockery from Bradley and his goons, Goofy does explain things to Max, who seems genuinely worried and understanding. Still, Max does tell him to try and mind his own business, and then goes to reassure his worried friends that Goofy won't disrupt their X Games plans.
Listen, guys, cut the old man some slack. He has to be here. He was fired, and he can't find a good job without a degree.
Fired? Whoa. You mean like his pink slip was showing?
Don't push it, man.
Yeah, Bobby, don't do Disney dick jokes. Leave that to Harlan Ellison. I really hope the 5 people in the world who get that one are laughing. Of course, Goofy can't help himself but dad it up all over the place, and Max eventually unloads him on the strict campus librarian so he can finally go practice with his friends.
You'll find these helpful to your library experience.
Willoughby, is that a genuine mood ring you're wearing?
Well, yes. Well, yes it is. I'm a collector of 70s memorabilia and such. Sorta silly, huh?
What, are you kidding? This here's a Gilligan's Island fan club seashell.
Get out.
What, did you think geekdom was a new thing or something? Man, this movie is 17 years old, and I still kinda hope that this is how I meet someone someday. This is Sylvia Marpole, and she is the most awesomely nerdy goddamn thing ever created. Goofy instantly takes note of their chemistry and asks her on a date. And just like that, we're watching the best part of the movie. I'm not even really joking, I genuinely think this is one of the cuter romances I've seen in a Disney movie. I mean, it's a little simple and a little short on screen time as per the standard, but they're just so adorable together. It's like they reach nirvana whenever they share a scene. Just, you know, with a lot less Kurt Cobain. Stoked about his date, Goofy goes to tell Max the good news, but accidentally hijacks his skateboard practice. In good slapstick tradition, he ends up making some amazing tricks and considers joining Max's team. But Bradley sees an opportunity and invites him to join their team instead.
Mr. Goof, your performance was without a doubt the most breathtaking display of alternative sport inventiveness yet to be paralleled by mankind.
Okay, Bradley is obviously 5 pounds of shit in a 1 pound bag, but I swear the whole movie is almost worth watching just for his face. I mean, look at him. He almost kind of looks like an upper class asshole version of Cheese from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
A la chocolate milk!
Since he doesn't want his dad on his own team, Max convinces Goofy to join the Gammas in a real dick move, hoping his clumsiness will sabotage them. After successfully doing so, he goes with his friends to a nearby club to celebrate their assholery and are joined by none other than Beret Girl.
If it's all the same, I forgot your name.
It is endemic of the current culture that those with large stature are overlooked, except by vultures, with no regard to the depth of their souls, the height of their passion, the beauty of their moments.
Oh, wise Buddha boy. How could anyone overlook such a bundle of yesness? Let's dance.
Alright, y'all taking notes to that? Cause that was a goddamn masterclass in wooing. All of a sudden, however, Goofy arrives at the club and makes a request at the DJ booth. This scene is awesome. The animation in this movie is normally decent direct-to-video fare, but here they really ramp it up to give us a damn fun dance scene. Hell, I sometimes watch this scene on YouTube if I just want to kill a couple minutes. I especially love this shot. Fucking gold. Well, I guess now we know how Goofy managed to even have Max in the first place. So now Goofy is distracted by his new girlfriend and the Gamma fraternity nonsense, and everything seems to be going okay until the X Games preliminaries start. The Gammas cheat by strapping rockets to Goofy's board, but he naturally still manages to accidentally be amazing at it.
Perfect 10s across the board! Except for the German judge. 9 on that one.
None of you can ever boo one of my puns again after that! Thanks to some more cheating from the Gammas, Max flops his performance and just barely gets his team to the finals, causing him to finally snap at Goofy.
This campus just isn't big enough for the both of us.
I didn't mean for it to turn out this way, Max. I was just trying to get closer to you.
Oh, don't you get it? I'm trying to get away from you. I'm not a little kid anymore. Now just leave me alone and get your own life.
Okay, let's talk about this. Why is Max such a dick in this movie? Look, he's absolutely right that Goofy is being unreasonably clingy and needs to get his shit together, so getting frustrated is totally understandable. But he keeps bouncing back and forth between being worried and understanding, and just being a complete asshole. Don't forget that he just tried to unload his father on people he knows are dicks just to get a leg up in a contest, and then shoot him out afterwards for doing exactly what he told him to do just because he feels outshined, while Goofy is apologizing for it. And maybe I'd feel a little better about it if Max hadn't already learned his lesson about this in the last movie! A Goofy movie was about Goofy learning to back off and let Max grow up, and all about Max learning to appreciate his dorky dad and let him be part of his life. The last time he was a manipulative little shit, it almost got them both killed, and they ended up bonding and seeing it eye to eye on stage, on live TV, while dancing with his musical idol. That doesn't seem like the kind of shit you just forget. Anyway, Max's outburst makes Goofy so depressed that he starts daydreaming during an important exam, which causes him not just to fail, but also miss a date with Sylvia. She does quickly forgive him though, and Goofy starts to seriously apply himself. Not only does he improve his grades, he also goes to quit the Gammas. But naturally, they won't hear it.
If you think you're quitting the Gammas to join that freshman geek son of yours, you got another thing coming.
Bullseye, baby! Dog Boy's in trouble, and Daddy's gonna bail him out.
No sirree, sir.
My butt!
I'm not gonna be on anyone's team.
Ha! Forgot you were talking to a grown-ass man for a second, didn't you? So then the Gammas kick Goofy off the team, but before he leaves, he overhears them openly discussing that they will cheat at the games tomorrow, so Goofy goes off to warn Max about it, and Max doesn't want to listen, and then...
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
Alright, look, sorry to all the sports fans that might be watching. I'll never be into this stuff myself, but I totally get that you guys find it exciting, and that's cool, but... Can any of you actually look me in the eyes and tell me you're watching the sequel to a Goofy movie because the fucking X Games are in it? Almost the entire rest of the movie just centers on the contest with the gang winning everything despite the Gammas cheating. I mean, there are some funny gags with just how obviously and cartoonishly they do cheat, but it's really just every other lame underdog sports story ever told, except Goofy just so happens to be in it. Whoop-de-frickin-do. In any case, Bradley's cheating gets PJ booted out of the games, resulting in Max having to get on the Jumbotron to beg Goofy to join the team despite the way he treated him. Goofy naturally comes to the rescue and the events go on, eventually resulting in Max and Bradley going toe-to-toe. When Goofy knocks him off the board, Bradley activates rockets on Max's board, causing him to lose control and eventually starting a fire that leaves Bradley's teammate Tank caught under a giant flaming X. Which, when I put it like that, kinda makes it sound like a bad gay breakup. Oh, come on! We just talked about this! Bradley, being ridiculously ruthless, has no issue leaving Tank to die in order to win, but Max and Goofy help the poor guy out together, with Max still managing to catch back up and win the event. Bradley takes it surprisingly well, all things considered, but Tank's not too pleased.
Time to get on the last jet to nowhere!
Oh, it doesn't look good now, folks. It's like I'm in a bad dream and it just won't quit.
So after all of that, Goofy graduates his missing year and Max apologizes in his own way with a genuinely sweet gift.
But this is yours.
No, Dad. This is for you. Read the inscription.
I might not be your little boy anymore, but I'll always be your son.
With a hug and a little funny lie about getting a job at campus, Goofy rides up with Sylvia and everyone's lives go on. The end. You know, for all my complaining about this, I actually think this is a pretty good little sequel. It's just a shame that it puts all its focus on all the wrong parts. Sending Max to college is the logical next step from the last movie. Goofy's pain is incredibly relatable and hard-hitting, and not only is his romance with Sylvia super cute and charming, if not exactly unpredictable, It even kind of rubs off on PJ, who just effortlessly goes around the background getting the happy ending is needed and deserved for the entire franchise's run. It's wonderful. But that fucking X Games plot, it's irrelevant. It relies entirely on Max being an absolute asshole half the time and conveniently forgetting all his character development, and it just reeks of a producer slapping it in there because that's what them kids seem to like. I know the first movie was full of 90s cheese too, but at least there it came off more like a happy accident. This is nothing but tasteless pandering and product placement. It plays out exactly like you'd expect, and it's just god-awfully boring, especially when all the genuinely interesting things regarding Goofy are degraded to a B-plot because of it. Now, you can argue that I only think this stuff is more interesting because I am a crusty old adult, but first of all, fuck you, I'm in my 20s. Second of all, the first movie was partly about fatherhood and was still perfectly understandable to everybody. And third, there is so much more they can do with Max and Goofy being in college together. What is Max studying? What are his plans for the future? Will he and Goofy find new paths in life they hadn't considered before? Where did Roxanne go? Will Max meet someone new at college too? Will he have to deal with him and his friends taking up separate interests? Would he eventually start missing Goofy as much as Goofy misses him if he hadn't shown up? How does Goofy deal with the social stigma of being a college dropout? Will they struggle with their grades? Are Max's athletics the only thing keeping him enrolled? What are his thoughts on Goofy finding new love? All those questions and all the bonding that can come with them are just pushed out the window for no other reason than skateboards! Just so we can learn the same goddamn moral we learned the first time! Still, even with that, the movie for the most part looks pretty nice, and while I miss the songs and the more personal moments, the parts with Goofy and PJ are so good that I consider them nearly on par with the first movie. It's funny, it's energetic, and for all its focus on the extreme part, it certainly is pretty goofy. So yeah, I still think it adds up to a pretty enjoyable little sequel that is certainly worth a watch, even if it doesn't exactly stand out as much as the first one. But then again, you can't always make a perfect cast. See you next time, troopers! Hey folks, hope you enjoyed watching me goofing off for a while. Please like the video and leave a comment. There's plenty more where that came from, and if you press the subscribe button, it'll all come straight to you. You can also follow me on social media and support me on Patreon, all of which have links in the description. Till next time!